Debo Thomas Olushola is a pragmatic thought leader and visionary with over 2 decades entrepreneurial experience as the founder and CEO of Aston Nigeria. He has attracted agro investment of over 75 million into Ogbomoso, Oyo State. I think that deserves a round of applause. Transforming it into one of the fastest growing agricultural hubs in Nigeria. He is also the founder of Valor City, Africa's first human development city, poised to be a functional alternative to Nigeria's current dysfunctional cities. This innovative project is designed to offer a sustainable environment where living, working, and leisure harmoniously coexist. Through his work, he challenges people to rise above survival and live out of their true potential, starting with his core message, just maximize you. Thank you so much, and this is the biography of Debo Thomas Olushola as he unmute himself to speak. Can we have can we jump up?
All right, thank you everyone. SQI, you guys are doing amazing work.
Thank you.
I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate Dr. Adeyemi for the wonderful work he's been doing across the country. I've been seeing SQ everywhere I go. Abeokuta, Ibadan, everywhere, and I still remember the little beginning of SQI, and I'm so glad that SQI is going global. Amazing work you guys are doing. And I pray God will continue to prosper the work in Jesus' name. I hope you guys don't mind I use Jesus' name because I'm a Christian.
Of course, we cannot take your head. Say we do not want to take your head.
Yeah.
We want to take everything you have.
All right. So when I was contacted to come and talk, I wasn't really sure what to talk about because I was like, what kind of audience do we have? Because I know we have we have mostly young people, and I believe we are all young. They begin to call you an old man when you cross like maybe 50, 55, and I think I'm still below 50, so I'm still young.
People do not want to claim their
Yes.
All right. So I decided to talk about something that has been coming to my mind of recent, and it's about what we title the power of uncommon idea or unpopular ideas. Everybody wants to do big things. We like to be recognized. We like to have our work have impact, and we like to solve problems that face humanities. But at the same time, when you look at the pressure of life that comes mostly from having to survive, it can easily, replace that innate capacity to make impact in our environment, because an hungry man is always looking for how to survive. And when you have some needs that has to do with maybe shelter, feeding, clothing yourself, it might easily just derail you and you just focus on survival. And from survival, most of us we just end up with mediocrity. And for me, the way I like to look at mediocrity is when you live below what is actually possible for you. So when we were created with some capacity that can lead us to significance. But the moment we settle down to live the life of, I just want to survive, which I call a selfish life, it robs us of that which God has really deposited in us to bless humanity. So, and it is so easy to do that if you are all for survival, to easily look at ideas around you. Like, okay, what is in trend? What is working? What are people doing that is fetching them money? It's very easy to look at all those things and you begin to just replicate the same thing that has been happening around you. And the thing is, when you replicate what is already happening around you, you have no chance for significance, because it's like somebody trying to go into hip hop now, and you decide to sing like Burna Boy. I don't know how you want to start. This guy has created that persona for himself that you might not be able to replicate. So, and the same thing happens in the world we live in, be it normal business enterprise or social enterprise, whatever it is you want to do. If you can take the path that is not common, it holds more promises. But I also want to say that it is not that easy. I have a slide, but I'm not that good with following slides and all that. But I will try to. My team have been on my neck that I must follow slide. So I will try and see what I can do. But the thing is,
a moment.
Okay.
I don't know whether it is deliberate, but we cannot see your video.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very kindly. Amazing. Can you jump?
Okay. So I'm trying to open my slide there. So I think the first thing I have here is why go with an unpopular idea when you can easily take the one that is existing and just and run with it. So I think the first thing on this slide is an idea that seems unusual. You know, I said I'm not that good with following slide and all this sort. Let me just talk from my heart and just all right. So when you do something that is popular, the result is almost predictable. And most time it doesn't always exceed what is already in existence. And our chance at being significant is reduced when we follow the popular things. So, and I've been looking at the trend of things in Nigeria, and recently I think I wrote something about this guy that does this chess in the slum, Tunde Onokoya. So when I saw what that guy has been able to do, I think about 2 weeks ago, he was just giving us throwback to where he was like 10 years ago. And that again showed me the power of 10 years, what can happen over a decade. And this guy was showing pictures of different funny shoes, of how he was moving from one school to another, how he was trying to teach children. And when I look at the two things that are prominent in what he has done so far, I looked at this guy took something that is not popular, chess. I don't know the number of people in this meeting that play chess. This guy took chess and is now using chess to reach out to demographic that people don't even want to deal with. I mean, poor kids, children in the slum, children that do not naturally have a chance to succeed at life. And this guy just somehow, or stupidly, believes that is where his destiny is. And I want us to all look at this. If that guy is your brother, Tunde Onokoya, you know, he has graduated from school, he has done this and that, and you know, everybody will be expecting that go and look for a job, get a good job, start something meaningful for yourself. And the guy says, chess, I want to be teaching children. You're not even thinking of teaching rich people chess. You now say it is children in the slum you want to. I mean, I see, that's one of the craziest things I've seen in this country. Like, you're a young person, you know, promising, smart, intelligent, and you can't just look at something that we can all relate to it and you say it's chess and poor kids you want to focus on. That is extremely unpopular and laughable. And believe me, it takes somebody that is from another planet, with another kind of mindset, to just stick to that and pull through to what he has done now. So I think one of the stories I read that he puts out himself, he said at the point he approached the lady that he was interested in. And the lady asked him, ladies, the first thing they care about is what do you do? You understand? They know they love. It's what you do that. I know their friends will ask you, what does he do? What does he do come before? How does he look? And what kind of person is he?
You said
Adam, it's a very important question.
Adam was doing something. Oh God, me.
I understand. So this lady was like, what do you do? Say, I teach poor kids to play chess. And I was like, you are not serious, dude. So it didn't work out. The lady just bailed on him, and that alone is enough for somebody to rethink his decision, his focus, and his life. But somehow this guy persisted. Today we know the outcome. This guy is featured in, MTN using him. He's being featured everywhere. He has played chess at the Times Square in New York. He's everywhere. And it's another pace of success. But success from where? From an uncommon idea. From an unpopular idea. Chess is not a common game in Nigeria. If it is drafts now or Ludo, that one is very popular. You understand? Yep. But chess, so, and I even think about it, chess is not something a poor kid will want to identify with. And through that, this guy has done amazing thing for Nigeria, for the poor kids, and for himself. So that's one area. And I also look at some people. There is this popular pastor in Nigeria. He doesn't have a physical church building. They call him Pastor Jerry Eze. I'm sure all of us will know him, or most of us. Church on YouTube. You understand? Church on YouTube. This guy having 1 million views daily. You know what that translates to economically?
Yes,
so that is somebody making about, maybe they say he makes average of 5-7 million naira daily. Just doing church online. And if you do the math very well, because at the point when I heard about him, I like numbers. I just carried my calculator. Okay, if he's making 7 million naira daily, I did it, how much it will translate to in a year. And I was like, this guy was making over 2 billion on YouTube. This same gadget that we used to do, just touch on YouTube, and it's being viewed globally. So, he's a pastor, but pastoring in a different way, in an uncommon way. You understand? I'm going somewhere. So that phenomenon now is if you say want to now become an Nigerian now, I don't know how that possible would be for you in Nigeria. That guy is a pioneer in that place, in that space. He's a pioneer, and he's doing what everybody has been doing in an uncommon way, in an unpopular way, and that has really made all the difference for him and for a lot of people that look up to his ministry. So there are several examples around that we can look at. And there is somebody that we might also know. He was in the last Ogbomoso ODS event. If you look at what he does, look at budget. Budget is something like new. You understand? It's something that is not a copied idea. You understand? It has a lot of impact on the country.
Yes.
It has a lot of impact on our policies. Now, this year now, I've never seen Nigerian being so interested in budgets like we are this year now. People now seeing that Ministry of Agriculture is building classrooms that they don't have business with. Ministry of Agriculture is building stadium, all those kind of stuff. So it is because of that kind of stuff. And look at where that thing has placed him to. It has made him relevant. It has made him to be significant. So governors want to, it's like in some circle now, the fear of Shewonik is the beginning of wisdom, because if you put nonsense in this thing, this guy is going to review what you do. But you understand, it's been a tech guy, you understand. I think he said he was a banker at some point, but what he's doing now, you understand, it's not something that, some people have done flutter with, let me also do flutter with. You understand? It's not okay. These guys, they are doing this thing, let me do this stuff. These are people that are pioneering new frontier. They are opening new frontier. And the beauty of it is there are several of those frontiers that needs to be opened in Africa, in Nigeria. But instead of all of us, but another thing that prevents us from taking this kind of direction is when we are too focused on ourselves, what to eat, what to wear, and the kind of car to ride, and the kind of house you want to build. You understand? By the time you start thinking big, you begin to see that most of the things you want to copy, they are old ideas. They are old ideas. And the old ideas, they are old. That's why they are called old, and they can't take you anywhere. So, there is something I read in the book. The book is here with me. And if you can get this book, you can get it. Startup Nations, the story of Israel economy's miracle. So on the forward, there is the first paragraph on the forward of this book. I want to read it for you so that you learn something from it. It said, people prefer remembering to imagining. Memory deals with familiar things. Imagination deals with the unknown. Imagination can be frightening. It requires risking a departure from the familiar. Now, we want to stay with what we know. Unknown can be frightening. Unknown because you are thinking about an idea that nobody has done before. So you are not even sure how society will accept it. You are not sure. There is no metric to measure, okay, will it be successful? There is nobody to learn from to see that, okay, this person will mentor me in this new adventure I want to embark on. So you are practically living the known for the unknown. And this thing can be uncomfortable for a lot of human beings. And it's understandable because we prefer the known. If you want to eat now, you like to eat what you know. If you want to try a certain food now that is from another tribe, maybe it's even better than what you are used to. You are skeptical. Me, I remember when I was introduced to food from the south side of Nigeria, I was like, there are food, everything is just green. No oil, no nothing. Like me, I can't eat this kind of stuff. But the first day I tried, I was like, Jesus. So Motinja a lot of joy. Because since that time I fell in love with their food, and my taste bud is different now. What I'm trying to say is, as human, we like to stay with the known, with what we know, and it can be called our comfort zone. You understand? And everyone that is going to be significant, we are going to get to a point where we are going to have to deal with the unknown. And it's even scriptural. The father of faith, Abraham, when God began with him, said, move out of your country to a place I will show you. He did not even tell him where he was taking him. Like, he didn't know. He just said move. So this guy was practically ready. So if you look at people that have actually done things, there are people that have capacity to embrace the unknown, things that are not popular. So if it is something somebody has done before, like I said in the beginning, your chance of being significant in that thing is very, very low. So that is one. Then there is somebody that I know you all know too, that I admire so much too, Bomosho. And when I heard about him and what he done, I was like, is this guy normal? Is it normal? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm talking about JD, and I'm sure you all know it. So I'm like, can you say Bomosho is your place of calling? You are not even from this place. Out of all the beautiful cities you have potential to stay, because this guy can actually live anywhere. You understand? But he chose to stay. An uncommon resolve, an uncommon idea. It's not popular. And from here, this guy is just scattering everywhere silently. You understand? And if you look at how significant his work is, you have to be extra smart to see what I'm talking about. So there are quite a number of people that have earned their ticket to significance just by following Uncommon Road. And please, how many minutes do I have more so that I can quickly?
The idea was that you were going to speak for about 20 minutes at first, then we'll launch into panel session.
Okay. Yeah. So how many minutes do I have left now?
You have about 5 more.
Okay, thank you. So there is a whole lot of people like that we can reference, and personally, I think I have my story on this one too, because what I do when I started, I've been doing quite a number of popular stuff, selling computers, doing all those kind of stuff. But I got to a point that I was looking for something different, something that Ogbomoso does not really determine how well I do. And I had one idea to start selling farmland. The people in Ogbomoso too, when I was telling them about this, they were like, that place is too far now. When we buy farmland in that place, it's too far. You'll be driving like maybe 50 kilometers outside of Ogbomoso. No, it's too far. And something just kept me going, because I saw something they were not seeing. I saw agriculture was going to become something that is going to be very significant for Nigerians, Nigerians. Then I'm like, if they want to be agriculture, they will need farmland. And farmland are not in the cities, they're in the remote places. So it was not popular. I just started. And in about 10 years, the amount of land we've been able to buy and sell, I don't think no company has done it in Nigeria. Because when it comes to farmland sales now, we are number one in Nigeria. Like, we deal with farmland, just farmland. And we've been able to, wrap it with cattle and all that. So when I started, it was not a common thing. Everyone, in fact, because I had to source for loan and stuff like that, nobody believed in it. That you want to buy farmland. Farmland. It's not common. And I say agricultural real estate. What we know is, okay, buy land, build estate, and all that. So that is it. Then also, when we were done with that, I got bored, because I was like, I need another challenge. I need something else. And for me, impact comes before what to eat, what to hear. By the grace of God, I've been able to solve that problem. So I was thinking, what next? What next? And God told me this idea that has been, building in my mind for about 20 years. And everything came together in 2021 as Valor City. And to be honest, it's the most frightening thing I've ever embarked on in my life. It's like scary, because this kind of project is what multinationals do. This kind of project is what only government executes them. I'm talking about projects on the scale of Centenary City in Abuja, project that you can compare with Alaro City in Lagos, project you can compare with the likes of Eko Atlantic. And I'm like, guy, what have you done before that gives you the audacity that you can take on something like this? The money that I have, when I compare what I have to do, is like I'm putting a drop of water inside an ocean. You understand? You need water as much as the ocean, and all you have is a drop. That's what I have compared to the resources needed for this kind of project. But there is this thing within me that it is possible. And we embarked on it. Afraid. That's the honest truth. Afraid. But today I want to tell you that we've made progress like we never thought we could have made. Even though you might not see something physical on ground, the city coming on board, but the city, many things happen in the abstract world before you begin to see them. What we've built in the abstract world now for Valor City is like, okay, I don't know, for those of us that still remember the days of snapping pictures, you use film, not now that you just snap and you see what you snap. In those days when you snap through the negative, then they will take it to studio. Yeah, this man remembers. You take it to studio, they wash it and all that. So I think we have the negative ready now. It's being processed, and when it is ready now, everybody's going to see. So we have buying from incredible quarters that we never thought, and we just got to the point that, oh, this project is done deal. But it started with a lot of things. And I will say this to close this, that when you are looking for significance, when you are looking to be relevant, number one, you must do away with survivor, chasing food, chasing shelter, chasing what to wear should not be like the number one thing for you. So the number one thing should be like, think about others, think about legacies, because legacies will not be built on uncopied ideas. Legacy will build from things that will test you. They will test the core of your being. They will test your faith in God, your faith in yourself. It's going to test it, and it's going to stretch you. And believe me, when you start, you will not have answers on how you are going to do some stuff. But as you start, things will begin to unfold. You'll be tested. If you stay the course, the significance you want, you are going to attain it. So I would like to stop here because of our time, so that we can go into the panel session.
Wow. Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Debo Thomas. By the way, thank you everyone tuning in. Within the comment section, you can see some of the book recommended during the speech that he gave now. So please, I want you to look for those books. Within the comment section, can I have about 5 to 10 people? Thank you. We have well over, close to 100 people on this meeting. And I have about 5 to 10 people who will tell us what stood out for them during this first half of this very, very wonderful and amazing event, the MindTalk June edition. Can you tell us within the comment section what stood out for you? What stood out for you? For me, the word "do it afraid" rings very, very much. Thank you, Mr. Timi Alamu. Thank you. Yes, very, very insightful. And while people are telling us what stood out for them within the session, I want to appreciate you once again, Mr. Debo Thomas. I mean, today's an holiday. Everybody wants to be with their family, eating some ram or cow, but then you still prioritize us. Although it pains me a little bit that the very first time you are coming to SQI, it is actually virtual. But then I want to assure you, like everybody also will agree with me on the meeting, that the impact is not watered down at all. Distance was never a barrier today. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you,
For
sir.
honoring the invitation. Yes, sir. I want to ask to kickstart. By the way, I want you to begin to drop your question in the comment section. My amazing people. I want to ask, by the way, what makes an idea unpopular? Is it culture? Is it fear? What exactly can we say makes an idea unpopular?
Thank you. An idea is unpopular when you don't really have, when you drop an idea, and the number one thing you see from people or from people, this idea is not workable. It's so simple. It's not workable because they've not seen it before. If I say I want to start a restaurant now, it's a good business,
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you this: if I say I want to start a restaurant, let's forget about it and 7 go. You understand? I want to start a restaurant that will be everywhere. You just pick your stuff and go. You will not sit down to eat. People will say, and you describe the kind of thing that 7 go has done now. It will be like, are you sure? Doing the popular thing sometimes, but in an unpopular way. That guy is the only guy that does that in Nigeria now. Some other businesses, they like KFC, I think they have drive-through in. You drive through, you buy your stuff. But this guy, no room for sitting down. You understand? And extremely cheap. You understand? So when you talk about this idea that you want to do, and people say it's not popular, you want people to work with you on this thing, they are skeptical to even join you because they can't see. People will only join something that they say, it has chance to succeed. You understand? It will take you extra talk to get people to be convinced to okay, and let's work with you, let's join your team, because they can't see it. You understand? Even you yourself, you are doubting the possibility of that thing succeeding. So there are so many things that you are going to see that this idea is not popular. You understand? So there are several things you tell people. Then when you are doing it, you mostly find yourself alone doing it. People will be laughing at you. So it's something like that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The other time you were talking about some of the unpopular ideas that are very glaring within our world that has materialized today. And you were citing the Tunde Olankoya story Sir, do you know what is even much more unpopular to me this morning? Velocity. Now, one day, I enter one truck with my mentor, and we were driving into the far bush, and we reached somewhere, and he said, "That is my friend's site. Debo, let us go there." I wish I could still get the picture we took that day. I have been there. That's what I am saying in essence. I saw people that were walking. Yes, I've been to Velocity after Ikoyi. And I tell you, when I saw the plan and what is ongoing already, I was I was just silent throughout the journey, coming back the whole day. They were asking me what I was just ruminating, like, what? How would somebody
Just sit down.
just say this massive project
Is what I want
to
to
that place? What was he thinking? What a realm was he not knowing that today?
I'm going to meet you.
So from the beginning, when they will now pick the topic, when the team will now curate the topic, they said the power of unpopular idea. I was like,
Exactly, that's it.
so this is me having the privilege to ask you on behalf of everybody, those that have not even been to the location for Velocity. What were you thinking, sir? What led to that?
Thank you. Honestly, I wish I can just have one straight word, just answer your questions. But I'll try to just give you a little background, and one of the things that motivates me to do some things that are not common. You know, Velocity has been something that has been in me since like 2003, 2004. But then I didn't know.
Wow.
2004.
20 years ago.
Yes, over 20 years now.
Amazing.
So, but I never knew it was going to be this big. I still have my notes of description of things and I was having this dream.
Do you have your
notes?
My notes, my journal.
I want us to pick that.
Yes.
You see, what made the people that are gone ahead of some of us coming behind? What made them? They are not things that they are open secrets sometimes, and they are not stingy. They are not usually economical to share it with us. But then a whole lot of us trivializes it. He said 20-something years back, he had a note.
Wow.
So in the note, in the notes,
yeah, you can
in the note I have description of things that will happen, and like this guy said in one of his talk, Mark Zuckerberg, that ideas don't come out fully formed. With time they advance, they change, they evolve, and all that. So when we were to start Velocity, I see this thing. I would say I would like you to listen carefully so that you can pick different things will be in this for different folks. There is this spiritual side of things, and when I look at my own story, I love to be significant. I won't deny that. I love to be significant, and I don't like to do common things. But common things are something that naturally, because of the kind of environment we find ourselves, are not easy to do. So the things I want to do are always like a stimulant for my own spirituality. You understand? When I look at the idea of Velocity, before the idea was fully formed, I was already like feeling good, feeling okay, that look at what we've been able to do in the last 10 years. Look at what we've done. Look at what we've done. Look at what we've done. Because I always think in 10 years. 2010, I was operating some cyber cafes then. Yes, 2010. So I sat down at my cafe one day, I think January 1, 2010 or so. And I was telling myself, I even wrote it on my Facebook wall, that this decade is all I have to lay a foundation for my future. What I will do, what I'll become, will be determined by what I do with these next 10 years. So I was thinking about that. Anybody that goes through my page, you on my Facebook 2010, you see it, maybe 2010 or 2011. So at the dawn of 2020, no COVID came, and I was like, what next for me? What next for me? At that moment, my work with God is not that solid. You understand? Like me, I can be very crazy. I will not lie. I can do some crazy stuff, but when there is always this thing that's in your DNA. When you are God's, that this one, God is the center. Sometimes you can just do some crazy things and just wonder. But God always He has investment in you and He wants to. And I also enjoy that work. But sometimes when there is nothing to discuss, when there is nothing, so God, there is me. I don't just read Bible. Say I want to read Bible. I want to do fellowship. I want to do anything. Why? There must be something that we are doing together. Yes, God's and the relationship will be boring. You understand? So what I always been doing for me is I always like to look for trouble. Trouble that if God doesn't help me, I'll be finished. You understand? That is my own way of being in alignment with God. And so when I started my land business, the same thing really helped me, because what we've been able to do in our local government, believe me, is nothing short of miracle. You can't do it with wisdom. You can't do it with wisdom. I still remember my peak of 2014, 2013, the way I looked. When I look, I was like, if not God, imagine we just entering a place and we are taking over villages. We are taking over thousands of acres of land with no backing except God, with people intimidating you with juju, doing all manner of doubts, dogs, area killers sometimes, and all those kind of stuff. And yet we stood. That is God. And so in those moments, my work with God was solid. But when you have succeeded, like children of Israel, you just relax. You start to enjoy the fruit of your labor. Then you get carried away. But sometimes you start missing that relationship. And I was like, what next? Then God just packaged this velocity idea for me. And I was like, this is beyond me. Then I remember, God's promises and all that. Anything you set your mind to do, if you can believe, you understand. It started from there. So now I need velocity to be in tune with my maker. That's one. Then in that thing too, because if God doesn't help us, we are finished. We can't do it. Because it's practically I'm committing the whole of my life into this project. I have committed it into it. So if this project fails, forget it. I'm gone. But God is faithful. God is faithful. And we've been seeing His hand so far. This year has been amazing. You understand? So that is one part of why we are doing velocity. Another part is, velocity for me is not the end. Velocity is a means to another end. So velocity is a project I must do to become another kind of person that will be ready for the next phase of my life. So velocity is an assignment that, okay, if I can pull this off, which we are going to pull off, in fact, it's almost pulled off. You understand? Because in my spirit, velocity is done. You understand? So then the next assignment will be handled. Because I like to think big. If I don't think big, I'm finished. Thinking big is where I have my sanity. You understand? So after
where I have my sanity.
So if I'm not thinking big, my life will be useless, be meaningless. I'll just be like, so that's another reason. So it's a means to another end. So if I don't, it's like when you don't finish primary school, you can't go to secondary school. You can't go to secondary school, you can't have WAEC. And you don't have WAEC, you cannot go to university. So velocity is like my whole level that I need to enter a new university. You understand? Because now let me tell you something about this. For me, becoming is more important than doing or having anything. There is a kind of business person I've been. You understand? Who I have been in the past has enabled me to achieve what I've been able to achieve. But I want more. I need to become another kind of person. I need to be refined. You understand? In every sense of refinement. There are some attitude that I have that are not right for greatness that I need to drop. I can't drop. I'm a very proud person. You understand? I need to learn humility. You understand? I can be very proud and stubborn. I need to learn balance. You understand? I tend to depend on myself sometimes. Like, God, you give me brain now. What's this? You understand? But I need to get to a point where I need to do something that will just break me. Like, no, So, and in that process, I'm becoming another kind of person. There's some kind of exposure I need that I do not have. I've been an Ogbomoso boy all my life. I grew up in Ogbomoso. Everything about me, I've never stayed 6 months outside Ogbomoso all my life. You understand? I travel, come back within a short time. So you can determine how much exposure somebody like that will have. You understand? In terms of, and exposure is beyond what you see physically, what you see in your mind, what you experience, you know, the kind of people you meet. And for Velocity to succeed, I'm going to have to like meet different people. I'm going to have to like learn how to relate with some kind of people. I'm going to have to learn how to accommodate some kind of people. I'm going to have to like learn some new words, some new vocabularies. You understand? I'm going to have to study some things. I'm going to have to like learn how structure works, how they build structure for big things. You know, my normal business is so easy to run, you know, very easy. Not that it's easy like that though, but for my level, I might not even participate in what we do in our company now. That when you go to our page, you don't see my face. Things are running, but I'm bored. So I need something that will work for me, that will train me, that will remold me into the kind of person I need to be for my next assignment. So that is another reason. So Velocity is not because we want to make money. It's not because, of course, money will be involved, because for me, it's a fusion of profit and passion. You understand? I am passionate about it, but profit as well must be guaranteed that passion, because it makes it sustainable. You understand? So that is basically one of the things. Then I look at the impact it's going to have. I've been wanting to like show people that this is possible. The fact that you are disadvantaged, you are born in places like Ogbomoso or this and that. But I look at what this thing will be. We know one of the problems we have in Nigeria and Africa is this. We have problem with imagination. We can't imagine. So we focus on what has been, which is practically history. You understand? It's just history, nothing new. So we are not motivated. We don't want to just do. And every civilization, every country that is great today, you can see a trait in them. There'll be nations that could imagine. They imagine at some point. So Velocity, when done, is going to be a testament to what a strong mind can do just by believing. So that's another reason why we are doing Velocity.
Thank you. That was very raw. Very, very raw. And like I said the other time, I said our people should please open not just their ear on this thing, but their mind. Because there are some leaders that I have spotted within our community. Open their mouth to talk, they don't hold
They try
back.
as much as possible to hide something.
Yes, they don't stay economical about their processes, about their practices, and I think this is one of the priceless gifts that we can have in a time like this. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you, sir.
That really touched depth. So at this moment, I'd like Ms. Debbie to also chip in some of the beautiful things that are on our mind. But then I want people to please start putting their questions in the comment section so that we can address it all together within this panel discussion. All right, over to you, Debbie.
Thank you, sir. So you mentioned something. You were talking about something new, and there's this concept or this idea that people believe, and they say there's nothing new. Yoruba will say right? So we believe that there's nothing new. Like there's nothing you want to do that somebody have not done before. Yeah, that's the word. So what is your view about that statement?
Okay. Everything is about context. When they say, even the scripture says it, there's nothing new under the heaven. There's nothing new. It might just be like, most time what we create now are just tools to do things. So when it depends on the context you put it. If when they created airplane, you understand, it was new. You understand? We can say it's new, and we can say it's not new. Because at the end of the day, it's just a means of transportation. So we can say, okay, what is not new under heaven is a means of transportation is not new. But this type of means of transportation can be new. You understand? And sometimes we can, from the old things, we can draw inspiration from the existing things to recreate things in a new way or create something new. You might need to unmute yourself. I think you're muted.
I said from the old things.
Yes.
We can bring what, sir? I did not get that part very clearly.
We can bring something new from a whole thing just by redoing the whole thing. This telephone we have now is a combination of our normal computer and the normal telephone we used to have. You understand?
Yes.
So now all of us now we are going about with telephone and computer in our hands. You understand? If you look at it, it is new. If you look at it, it's still not new. You understand? So it's just like you're just carrying two gadgets in one. So that's just it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I love the fact of where you mentioned writing down. So recently, our founder did his birthday, and people were doing mimicking of Dr. Adeyemi Adereto, and then we could see that so many people were saying, Oga, we always say write down. Write it down. So this is giving this is another way of telling all of us in the house that there is power in writing. There's power in writing. So when there are sometimes that you write some things down and then you notice that you've been away from them and then you just find that book somewhere, you open it and they'll be like, oh, wow. So this thing I wrote down then. So there's power in writing. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity, and we really do appreciate and do not take it for granted.
All right. So moving on, I encourage everyone to please drop their questions within the comment section. I can see that our supreme leader is in the house. I can see him in the comment section. Please, can we please jam our hands together and do some for Thank you. And of course, I can see Bam too. So I believe we have opportunity to hear Bam before the event wrap up. Okay. Do you have a question?
I've been noticing people raising their hands. Can you just drop what you want to say in the comment section?
You can write it in the comment section.
Yes,
or
let's have it in the comment section.
Yes. I've been feeling like saying Uncle Debo.
Oh my God.
All right, sir. How do we distinguish? I wrote one article some times back, and by the way, I will still come back to that. There's one article you wrote that I rephrased. Maybe I will share with you after the event about the one you and your daughter, the discussion you and your daughter had when you went to it was flying around on Facebook, and it flew to me, and it was solid. That's some crazy mathematics there. So I'm coming from that angle. You are realistic in the way you've been painting all of your adventure since morning. You are a man of number. You are factual.
Yeah,
very, very factual. So one day I wrote an article. I call it the Gossamer thread. Gossamer thread is that cobweb, that tiny cobweb. I said the Gossamer thread is just the difference between everything is just a Gossamer, like a Gossamer thread. Very thin line, very thin line in between. Like Oga will say, if you are shy, shyness can be arrogant sometimes too. You don't want people to rubbish your idea. You don't want them to critique it whichever way, either constructively or destructively. When you are shy, you are arrogant and you don't know sometimes. So arrogance and shyness have a thin line of difference. I said in between boldness and temerity, there's just a thin line of difference. Temerity is reckless boldness. Boldness is acting with courage. So I want to ask, what is the borderline in between foolishness and visionary thinking?
Yeah.
There are a whole lot, young people can be so full of energy in our time.
You want to do so many things.
And you don't know when you are drifting from being visionary
to being foolish.
Is Dr. Denny not taking that for us?
Yes, I think he wants to take that for us.
You're welcome, sir.
It's hey, over to you. You are the boss here today, sir.
Doctor, I want to hear your voice, your view on this.
Oh my God, where Adeboyega took the question to. Only you can answer.
It's a very tricky one. So I was like, maybe when you put your perspective, I'm going to have my thoughts gather on how to answer it. So if you can help me, I don't mind, sir.
Okay, let me try. But firstly, in fact, I'm glad that this program is being recorded, but I will have to listen to it over and over again. I couldn't join on time because I was at the other link. I was doing conductor here, directing people to this other
more
link.
like a conductor's work.
Yes, I did conductor here. So I would say this is the third time I'm listening to you. Like, it has been amazing. I'm happy that I have this opportunity. It shows that there is so much wealth in you, because I think you don't even need to think about what you need to say. It just comforts because it's in there. And I appreciate the fact that you gave us without holding back at all today. I just hope everyone that has been listening this morning will treat this as valuable as it is. You know, when things comes for free, or cheap, we tend to ignore it. But I must tell you that everything that has been shared today by Mr. Debo Thomas is just key. It's just pure. And I also noticed that you like trouble. So much, because if you don't like trouble, how will you be saying thinking big is where you find your sanity? Even small thinking self, and you're also talking about uncommon idea. Like trouble, and it takes someone that is bold. You can't like trouble this way, and people will not say you are arrogant, because when you talk about big ideas, of course they will say you are arrogant, and your big ideas will need boldness. You need to face some things, And while you were talking, also you mentioned about something like assassin, voodoo, and all stuff. You talk about that area as if it was something cheap. But the little idea I had about your journey, hey, I knew what you went through. I just wish there will be another day where what we talk about will be your challenges. That your challenges alone, they are enough to make a movie like 10 seasons, 20 episodes each. Movie, enough. So I wish to have that opportunity another time. Now, talking about Blessing Adegboyega's question, it's as if, when Jesus described the narrow path, that is as going through the eye of a needle. But what I would say is that when you are thinking big, there is no way you won't even see yourself sometimes as being foolish. It is normal. Yeah, like the big things we see today sound foolish, 10, 20 years ago. If someone should tell me that I will have a slate where we used to write with chalkboard, with chalk, I will have a slate that I will be seeing people on it, and I can touch it, I can speak to it, and I can talk to someone and be seeing that person in another country on it, which is a tablet today. I will say that is foolish. Like foolish. But it is when you continue to think the big ones that sounds foolish and stupid, that one day, especially if you are an humble person, you listen to people, that you'll be able to draw out one that will be applicable, that will take form, that will take root. So I wouldn't advise anybody that is thinking and is sounding foolish right now to stop. Because, like I said, it's out of the foolish thinking that you will find the solution for the world one day. Don't just stop thinking. Continue to imagine. Crazy imaginations. What we are doing today sounds crazy more than 10 years ago. But somehow, the old government, everybody is now talking about it now. See? So please, don't stop thinking. Over to you, sir.
Thank
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate the kind words. Well, Doctor has said so much on this thing concerning the thin line between foolishness and this big idea. You know, if it is big, it's actually going to look like that. Even you yourself, you feel like stupid sometimes. But for me, I think this is where faith can help. And because sometimes, you know, in those days, in every civilization that we've experienced, there is always this element of spirituality. And sometimes they have this thing called oracle. Check every civilization, even in Europe, in the days of Vikings and all that, they have it. So when you want to embark on something that you don't even know, you are not sure, you might want to inquire from the oracle. And this oracle thing is part of, it's like every spiritual movement always have it. So for you, you might have to like be spiritual with this. And the essence of having an oracle is to just give you a near accuracy advice or insight into what you want to do. I don't know. I like David so much. He's my favorite character in the history of the world. So when these people ransacked where he kept his family, the family of his people, and they took everybody away, and he was crying, he was so distraught, and he said, "Bring me effort." Bring me the effort. He inquired, should I pursue? So what I'm trying to say is there are moments that you are going to have to lean on your faith. Like, should I go ahead? Should I pursue? And when you hear that voice, you understand. You will know what to do. Because sometimes it's a thin line. Everything in you will be like, in fact, you will not even know the loudest voice, whether to go ahead or not go ahead. But for me, once I get to that moment, and I'm like, God, are you in this? So everybody will know the way God deals with them. So you just, once you have that clarity from God, just go ahead. And but you need wisdom, because in the multitude of counseling, there is safety. And in that same counseling too, there can be confusion.
Yes,
You understand? So that is where the ultimate voice, and you must know how your God speaks with you, is the voice of your God. So that's what I can say on that.
Thank you very, very kindly, sir. You know, we are nearing the end of the whole thing now, but I think I am a little bit excited at this moment now, because you are plucking some chords, and the vibration is getting deep. Yes, the vibration is getting deep. Now, I want to also ask that sometimes ago, there was this popular picture flying across the internet about the Google burial ground in their backyard. I believe some people, if you can relate to the picture, you have seen the picture I'm saying, can you give some thumbs up? I don't know, maybe the media can help us with that. The Google failed project graveyard. Yes, yes, they will be able to pull it out now. They are bringing it out. The Google, thank you, Dr. Adenito. Thank you, Dr. Adenito. Thank you. I think Dr. Adenito can relate. Yes, I know. They are bringing it out. While they are fetching it, what was in the picture is there was some hectares of land, very large expanse of land, that Google, put aside, and you will see them. They will do as if they are doing a grave for somebody that has died indeed. For each project that has failed, I can see some of them. If I can remember now. There's Google Plus, there's Blogger, Jamboard, Chromecast.
Wow.
Yes. Before they change Dropcam, this is them. VPN by Google. In them that some of us have not even heard about. You can see this is the list of all the that there was YouTube stories. I think the story is what became short later now. I think the Hangout later became chat. But what am I driving at there? Is that I want to ask, when should one say, okay, this is a dead end? Let me cut back on this particular unpopular idea. There's no way there. Wait, AngularJS is not there, dude.
Okay.
So
AngularJS is dead.
It's dead.
Angular is different from AngularJS.
Oh.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarity.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Uncle Debo, over to you. When can one say
sir.
it's a dead idea? Let us stop.
Well, it can be tricky because sometimes I don't like to generalize. Because some things are just personal. The situations are not always the same. They can just share similarities. I think my first venture was a network marketing venture. So when I started with the company in 2002, it felt that was like the ultimate thing I would do in my life, what I was going to use the rest of my life to do. But with growth, I began to see other perspectives to life, other dimensions. And I started reading other materials. So I got to a point that I just saw that, no, and then I think I read some other material that, no, this thing is not going to be like you're imagining. So when I started having some challenges, I just knew it was time to move on to something else. Even as at that moment, I did not know what exactly I was going to move on to. I sure knew it was time for me to quit. And I called it quit. So the thing is, you are going to know that this thing is not working. It will not work. But me, I like to try everything that I need to try. And above all, see, when it comes to things like this, believe me, spirituality is an advantage. You understand? It gives you clarity. It gives you clarity. Should I continue? Because sometimes you have to continue. Sometimes some people give up when they are very close to breakthrough. You understand? So this is the point where no mortar can give you that clarity. You understand? So for me, that has always worked for me. So when I get to that point that, guy, let it go. Then I let it go. But that stuff too must have given me a lot of experience. I must have benefited a lot of things, like learn things, become a kind of person, you understand, that will now enable me to do my next business. When I was doing poultry business, and my poultry just within a year, like I just lost everything. I was just like, it was time to move on. Oh, this is the picture. Interesting. So I think I'm going to copy this and look at some of the fake things I've done in my life too, and I have to. Yes. Yes. So it just gets to point that this thing needs to go. So that poultry business just got the point that no, this will not work. You have to work with numbers. You have to work with data. You have to work with so many things. Then you are going to have that witness in yours, because I don't like to move on and then I start having conflict in my spirit that I should have stayed though. If I'm moving on, I want to move on on good conscience that no, it's the right decision. Because if I don't, it will be that stuff disturbing the next thing I'm doing. You understand? So that's just it.
From the homegoing, sir.
Yes, sir.
From the homegoing, I can ascertain that your unpopularity of ideas, you have not come by them easily. You have not come by them easily. It has been through wealth of experiences both the palatable ones and the less palatable ones. So as I was saying, I believe that all these amazing nuggets and principles that you are diverging to us today, you did not come by them by accident, and you did not come by them easily. So, just counting haphazardly. So what story of failure, still riding, please bring back the picture, still riding on that inspirational picture that we've just seen now. So can we peep into some little stories of failures? Because people always ask about successes. Okay, you do this audacious thing, it's turned out this way. Eventually, how about the ones that did not turn out?
Mr. Timmy was talking about your laundry business.
So somebody was saying,
oh my God.
Me and Timmy, we were business partners. We are colleagues in the laundry business.
Wow.
I think
Interesting.
this is priceless. This episode is priceless, because this is highly relatable, and people are coming out. You can see the director popping emoji every now and then. This is highly relatable. Please, can you take us very raw, deep into some of those history with failures too?
Well, I think almost everything I've done so far. I think the oldest business, the business I've run for a very long time, that is still existing, is Aston. And all the other ones I've done, from my network marketing stuff to my sales of computers, and I think this one was very, very tough. Okay, the poultry farming that I started a poultry farm, went bust, and there was this particular one that was really traumatic for me. This one landed me in prison. I spent about a week at Yagonku, then I spent the night in Abu
Please.
Did you take it, please?
Please. Yagonku.
Yeah, I think I did 1 or 2 nights in Ogumosho cell. Then from there, I was taken to Yagonku, spent maybe 6 or 5 nights there.
What?
Then a night in a business now. You are trying to. Okay, I wanted to go into the press business. I wanted to have a newspaper for Ogumosho. What we had then was Ogumosho Insight, and they were not always publishing. They were publishing once in a while, and they say cost of publication. So I felt, because they were not doing good marketing, that I can market. Once we have adverts, so we are going to be telling stories that are happening in Ogumosho. I was talking about 2011 or so, that we are going to start that. But I didn't have money. I was starting that thing from a very broke point. And we were to launch our first publication. Then there was election. So we went to the polling station. We wanted to snap people on the queue to vote. And, it was tough in Ogumosho. Then Akala was contesting with Ajimobi. And people felt maybe I'm a spy for a particular party. Me and my team. Before you know it, we were rounded up. Before you know it, we were handcuffed on our hands. Then it led to what I told you. And I had to defend the case for. So it was tough for me, and but that kind of business. Now, when I came out of that one night prison, I just knew that it's something I could not continue, because I learned some stuff there are regulations, there is a way you go about it that I didn't know before. So that one, it was easy for me to move on. And there are several other things that I can't go into, because I have one meeting on the island by 1. And I'm going with some people. So if you can just please give me just 10 minutes more so that I can just be out of here in 10 minutes, please.
All right. Let me ask this but last one, and then we'll pick a few questions from the comment section if there's any. So listen to what I want to read, please. Immediately, just an excerpt. Immediately. Dad, how much do you think this place makes in a day? immediately my mind switched to math mode. We guessed they might serve around 100 people daily. If each person spends about 3,000 naira, that is 300,000 naira a day.
Wow.
Multiply that by 30 days. That's a cool 9 million a month, a whopping of 108 million a year from roadside amala business. I said earlier on, from afar off and closely, anytime I'm opportune to hear you talk, one thing that had always stood out is you are factual, you are pragmatic, action driven, and you just said something now that even justified that once an idea is a little bit clear, you don't wait, you jump, you do, you act. You are not a man of very many words. I believe he has been several written articles about this, about that, but then like somebody who loves grabbing the bull by the horn. So I want to ask, do you have your how do I put it? Like your process, like
Probably, do you have them detailed?
no. A signatory approach. A signatory approach to betting unpopular ideas into reality. Like, okay, this is how I do it. This is how I do it. This is how I do it. I have seen the mathematical part of you. So I am asking about how do you execute your idea? Because if you are waiting for the right season, right atmosphere, the Bible says you will not plant. The farmer will not plant.
Yeah, the director wants to continue.
Okay.
I think
Okay, who is going first? Is it director or?
I think the director wants to say something. I think you should talk, then we just so I can just head out for my meeting. I have like 30 minutes.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was not on Adegboyega's question.
Okay, sir.
It's just some thoughts, some final thoughts. So if you want to go quickly, then I can share that, sir.
Okay, sir.
All right.
I think I go on, doctor. Okay, you want me to quickly do my stuff, Abi?
Yes, if you can.
All right, sir.
The blessings questions are just
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. If I get your questions correctly, the processes that if I have processes in place that guide my decision making and all that, sometimes as we get older, we learn to approach things differently. Naturally, I'm a spontaneous person. I work with my numbers when I think the number is right and I think there is a gap in that thing. I might just go for it. I remember another thing I did. There is this idea I wanted to start. I think about 7 years ago, listed keys. It's going to be a replica of Airbnb. Because when I'm in Lagos, I use a lot of Airbnb. I always have problem with them. So I wanted to do a replica of what they have and just there's going to be an indigenous thing. So I did the number and the number was not that bad. And before you know it, I assembled a team of tech guys. We did iOS app, Android app, we had the website. Then it got to the point I just look at, maybe let me say I chickened out. Because it was not that the idea was bad, but because at that moment, it was taking a toll on my business, Astor. And it has taken me away. I'm an intense person. My business then still had a lot of potential, my agricultural business. But I was seeing something bigger because I'm looking at something that I can do on the national, something that can be so big that we can take across Africa and all that. So I just put a stop on it after we spent a lot of resources. Then everything is still there till now. We've not really moved forward. So now going forward, if I want to do another thing now, so I just look at all those things. I look at, okay, what are my own value? What are my vision? How does this complement what's existing? You understand? So what other things does this add to what I want to do? So, but now I'm not really trying to do so much now because I know when it comes to business, you can't have multiple businesses without structure to run them efficiently. So those are the things I look into. Is there a structure in place to run this before I start? Because in business, demands attention. Business is like having a new baby. You have to like take care of it. Is the mother competent? Do you have nannies? Do you have all those kind of stuff? So, and the numbers must be right. For me, but the starting line is the numbers. Once the number is right, I'm going.
Thank you very kindly. In a very short while, the director will take it up.
All right, Doctor, thank you for having me. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And God bless SQI. God bless everyone. Thank you, sir. Permission to run, sir.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you
so much for coming.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome.